From one existence to the next, life after life, the flow of consciousness continues. Then what causes this flow of consciousness? He saw that it arises because of reaction. The mind is constantly reacting, and every reaction gives impetus to the flow of consciousness so that it continues to the next moment. The stronger a reaction, the greater the impetus that it gives. The slight reaction of one moment sustains the flow of consciousness only for a moment. But if that momentary reaction of liking and disliking intensifies into craving or aversion, it gains in strength and sustains the flow of consciousness for many moments, for minutes, for hours. And if the reaction of craving and aversion intensifies still further, it sustains the flow for days, for months, perhaps for years. And if throughout life one keeps repeating and intensifying certain reactions, they develop a strength sufficient to sustain the flow of consciousness, not only from one moment to the next, from one day to the next, from one year to the next, but from one life to the next. And what causes these reactions? Observing at the deepest level of reality, he understood that reaction occurs because of ignorance. We are unaware of the fact that we react, and unaware of the real nature of what we react to. We are ignorant of the impermanent, impersonal nature of our existence, and ignorant that attachment to it brings nothing but suffering. Not knowing our real nature, we react blindly. Not even knowing that we have reacted, we persist in our blind reactions and allow them to intensify. Thus we become imprisoned in the habit of reacting because of ignorance. This is how the wheel of suffering starts turning. If ignorance arises, reaction occurs. If reaction arises, consciousness occurs. If consciousness arises, mind and matter occur. If mind and matter arise, the six senses occur. If the six senses arise, contact occurs. If contact arises, sensation occurs. If sensation arises, craving and aversion occur. If craving and aversion arise, attachment occurs. If attachment arises, the process of becoming occurs. If the process of becoming arises, birth occurs. If birth arises, decay and death occur, together with sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental suffering, and tribulations. Thus arises this entire mass of suffering. By this chain of cause and effect, conditioned arising, we have been brought into our present state of existence and face a future of suffering. At last the truth was clear to him. Suffering begins with ignorance about the reality of our true nature, about the phenomenon labeled I. And the next cause of suffering is sankhara, the mental habit of reaction. Blinded by ignorance, we generate reactions of craving and aversion, which develop into attachment, leading to all types of unhappiness. The habit of reacting is the kamma, the shaper of our future, and the reaction arises only because of ignorance about our real nature. Ignorance, craving, and aversion are the three roots from which grow all our sufferings in life. Having understood suffering and its origin, the future Buddha then faced the next question. How can suffering be brought to an end? By remembering the law of kamma, of cause and effect. If this exists, that occurs. That arises from the arising of this. If this does not exist, that does not occur. That ceases from the ceasing of this. Nothing happens without a cause. If the cause is eradicated, there will be no effect. In this way, the process of the arising of suffering can be reversed. If ignorance is eradicated and completely ceases, reaction ceases. If reaction ceases, consciousness ceases. If consciousness ceases, mind and matter cease. If mind and matter cease, the six senses cease. If the six senses cease, contact ceases. If contact ceases, sensation ceases. If sensation ceases, craving and aversion cease. If craving and aversion cease, attachment ceases. If attachment ceases, the process of becoming ceases. If the process of becoming ceases, birth ceases. If birth ceases, decay and death cease, together with sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental suffering, and tribulations. Thus this entire mass of suffering ceases. If we put an end to ignorance, then there will be no blind reactions that bring in their wake all manner of suffering. And if there is no more suffering, then we shall experience real peace, real happiness. The wheel of suffering can change into the wheel of liberation. This is what Siddhartha Gautama did in order to achieve enlightenment. This is what he taught others to do. He said, "By yourself committing wrong, you defile yourself. By yourself not doing wrong, you purify yourself." We are each responsible for the reactions that cause our suffering. By accepting our responsibility, we can learn how to eliminate suffering. By the wheel of conditioned arising, the Buddha explained the process of rebirth, or samsara. In the India of his time, this concept was commonly accepted as fact. For many people today, it may seem to be an alien, perhaps untenable doctrine. Before accepting or rejecting it, however, one should understand what it is and what it is not. Samsara is the cycle of repeated existences, the succession of past and future lives. Our deeds are the force that impels us into life after life. Each life, low or high, will be as our deeds were, base or noble. In this respect, the concept is not essentially different from that of many religions that teach a future existence where we shall receive retribution or reward for our actions in this life. The Buddha realized, however, that in even the most exalted existence, suffering can be found. Therefore, we should not strive for a fortunate rebirth, since no rebirth is wholly fortunate. Our aim should rather be liberation from all suffering. When we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering, we experience an unalloyed happiness, greater than any worldly pleasure. The Buddha taught a way to experience such happiness in this very life. Samsara is not the popular idea of the transmigration of a soul or self that maintains a fixed identity through repeated incarnations. This, the Buddha said, is precisely what does not happen. He insisted that there is no unchanging identity that passes from life to life. It is just as from the cow comes milk, from milk curds, from curds butter, from fresh butter clarified butter, from clarified butter the creamy skimmings. When there is milk, it is not considered to be curds or fresh butter or clarified butter or skimmings. Similarly, at any time, only the present state of existence is considered to be real, and not a past or future one. The Buddha held neither that a fixed ego principle is reincarnated in successive lives, nor that there is no past or future existence. Instead, he realized and taught that the process of becoming continues from one existence to another, so long as our actions give impetus to the process. Even if one believes in no existence other than the present, still the wheel of conditions has relevance. Every moment that we are ignorant of our own blind reactions, we create suffering, which we experience here and now. If we remove the ignorance and cease reacting blindly, we shall experience the resulting peace here and now. Heaven and hell exist here and now. They can be experienced within this life, within this body. The Buddha said, Even if one believes there is no other world, no future reward for good actions, or punishment for evil ones, still in this very life one can live happily by keeping oneself free from hatred, ill will, and anxiety. Regardless of belief or disbelief in past or future existences, we still face the problems of the present life, problems caused by our own blind reactions. Most important for us is to solve these problems now, to take steps toward ending our suffering by ending the habit of reaction, and to experience now the happiness of liberation.